Hello, everybody. Hopefully we are live. Hopefully you can hear us. Welcome. This is going to be Pac-Land on the TurboGrafx-16, featuring a cast of characters we have today. You may recognize his first voice from the run that just happened. GliitchWiitch, how you doing?
You thought you were through with me out there in Retro Gaming Live TV land, but whoops, I'm back.
Here again, and the current world record. Oh no, I'm sorry, former world record holder. Your run is now second place. We actually have some people on the leaderboard. It's very exciting. And Dogveloper. Hey, Dog, how you doing?
Hey there.
Sorry.
Dog is joining us from Brazil. He's our Brazilian representative for this one. What do we say about Pac-Land before we go? I don't know anything to. Oh, it's got weird, wacky controls. That's the thing you want to know.
It's the best game on the console.
It's the best game designed in MS Paint.
Yes, it definitely. You could probably already tell from the demo screens that this looks like bitmaps that are 3 colors, and that's basically it.
Yeah, I mean, most people know it from like Smash Brothers now. Like, oh, it's that Smash Brothers stage that sucks.
Yes, that's great. It is in Smash. So that actually helps. I'll mention the controls really quick before we start. So one of the things that makes this game unique is that it's a port of an arcade game, and the arcade had a different kind of setup than just a normal arcade stick with buttons. And so the console game tries to replicate that. So you actually run left and right with the 1 and 2 buttons, which would be like your A and B button on the Nintendo NES. And then you actually jump by pressing the D-pad. And that's it's kind of a weird way of thinking about it. It's actually, I'd say that's probably one of the most challenging things of the run, right? Just to try to think of it that way.
Oh yeah, my demo screen is jumping against the wall over and over, and I am completely lost as to what's going on here.
According to the demo screen, I got what I was trying to get for showcase here. That is the floating hat trick. I don't know if you two are watching the stream right now, but
just the demos are always awful. I don't know why. But yeah, no, okay, that's a strat I haven't actually had a chance to try, Dog. So. Okay, so I guess we can probably get going and then just talk about it as we go. You all down with that?
Yeah, I guess there's video game to play here. We do have a race. We've been trying to race this game forever. And like I have a reputation of like every time I try to run this game, it's cursed. Like I'll oversleep. I submitted it to another marathon and I had to run it, and I instead didn't run it and slept in, and then Lat had to run it, and that was fun.
Hadn't played it in a while, so it was kind of a little on the edge of your seat there, but
about 2 years for me as well. Like for the last time I really played this.
Yeah, but every time a marathon comes up, I'm like, so Lat Dog, Pac-Land race. Are we doing this?
And we're finally making it happen. This is like, it feels like the world premiere of Pac-Land.
History is being made.
Folks, you are witnessing history right now, like Dog said.
And I do want to throw a big shout out to Evan Girl, who wanted to join us today, but is stuck at work.
And Evan's one of our moderators on the. He's a great member of the community. So yes, shout outs to Evan. Oh, he's in the chat. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's. I'll count this thing off. You all ready?
We're starting at triple select, right?
Oh yes. We're trying it. Yes. So we're all going to be. The timer doesn't start until you actually press run on the trip number. So everyone should be on that screen now. We all good?
Yeah. And we are running just the first 4 trips for a good reason. The rest of this game is heinous.
Awful. Nobody runs all 8 trips. So.
It's evil. You're evil.
I have the world record in 8 trips.
Apologies, you're right. Cat, I forgot that, and you had just improved the time recently too, actually. So
yep, getting close to sub 30.
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck.
Good luck to all of you, except a little bit less luck to Cat, because I'd like to, take her down a notch. I always like to think of this as like the purest form of like speedrunning. Like literally, you are going to be just running to the right and running to the left and jumping at the appropriate time.
Hold the button and pray.
Yeah.
It really is speedrunning in its most distilled form, and I always felt like if you're going to get into speedrunning a TurboGrafx game, like this is the one to start with. Something about it is just really like, just feels like it was built for it.
It's weirdly addicting.
It really is, and on top of that, though, the game has so much RNG with the enemy movements and the amount of enemies and all that kind of stuff that it keeps you coming back to. It almost feels like a different game every time you play it. It's really got one of those feels to it.
Yeah, you want to get like a good seed for your, oh god, like I just didn't, for your enemy pattern, so you can kind of like maybe just keep running instead of jumping and having to stop and whatnot. But sometimes the game says, wait a minute, hold on, I see you trying to run fast, but what if I put ghosts in your way?
So when I first started running this game on the TurboGrafx-16, there were no other entries on the TG16 console version of this game, and I actually did not use Turbo when I first started playing this game. And then when Kat started running the game, I'm thankful that you actually decided to turn on the Turbo switches and see what that did.
Yeah, so Pac-Man actually runs faster if you just hold Turbo and mash. Theoretically mashing, but we're just holding the button down because the TurboGrafx-16 has built-in turbo switches, so they are speed run legal. Which
Absolutely.
bless.
Yes.
But also it means like if you can tap faster than 3 frames on, 3 frames off, you could probably go faster than the turbo controller.
I did some testing, and apparently if you tap faster, it just is the same as holding. Like the game cannot process more than the turbo speed.
So it also just means like every single jump gives you RNG, because when you jump, when you land, if you land with a turbo switch not hitting, you stop hesitate for a half second. And if you land with the turbo switch on, you keep moving. So you have a 50-50 chance whether or not you're going to slightly hesitate on whether or not you keep running.
We actually are fortunate enough. Easy Games has completed a task of this game, of the 4-trip version, and I'm not 100% sure how we actually structured it out with the buttons, but I assume it was. I think it's what you're saying, Kat, with the 3 on 3 off. That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's 3 on 3 on is the 3 on 3 off is the default for the Turbo graphics.
Evan says he discovered turbo running. Oh, Evan, I'm so sorry. My apologies.
Was it? I mean, go Evan. Then I don't know how I learned about it, but. So before this race, the other 2 racers, being such good friends of mine, cursed me, which is why I died in the 4th stage.
I'd like to apologize for that, but no way in heck. We're trying to win this thing here, so. I'm so honestly, in all fairness, Kat's like the nicest person, so I do feel a little bad about that, but not really. So.
Oh no, I'll just remember it forever.
It's not cursing; it's handicapping.
Oh my God, this RNG, Jesus!
We should, folks. I have like a terrible history of Retrothon races. I've basically had my worst performances ever. So I will take any little bit of extra, oomph I could take. In fact, I'm sorry. I'm probably being way too mean to Kat, but
no. I deserve it. Dunk on me. I'm full of myself.
One of the reasons that Turbo is faster too is you'll notice when you're doing these jumps off the ramps and everything like that, I can't mash fast enough. I tap way faster, or I'm sorry, I move way faster through the air with the turbo switch engaged. So definitely that's one of the places where I increase my speed, my time, and everything like that. Oh, there we go. Evan figured it out, and then Kat confirmed it. Perfect. I like the sound of that.
I wasn't sure if Evan was the one in my chat that said, "Hey, try it with this," but I definitely did that.
So I'm not sure if Dog is doing this, but I'm actually taking my turbo switch off for certain stages, and the water stages are one of them. One, because I'm not too comfortable with it, and secondly, it's a little bit more precise for my approach.
Water stages are terrifying, is what Lat said.
I just died on water, even with the turbo off.
No! The water can be brutal. It's got a little bit less RNG, but you really have to be precise with your jumps. Kat, do you keep the turbo on for the water?
All the time. I don't take it off.
No, don't take it off.
And I've done it without. You lose about 7 seconds if you turn it off.
Turn it off. So I am giving up a free 7 seconds right there, but I know that I don't die doing that. And it's interesting because depending on where you die, a death can take anywhere from 3 or 4 seconds to a full 7 or 10 seconds, depending on. Oh, I died again, right into the water.
That I've reset the counter on the bottom, and it's just like Castlevania. You count down when you get to the goal.
Yeah.
3.
Oh, and the game also loves to eat inputs.
So also, like, in the water levels, precise jumping is kind of like key. So when you're running with turbo, it's hard to gain momentum on your jump right away. And so when you have momentum, you'll jump higher. When you don't, you'll jump like kind of further. Shout out to the ghost bush, by the way. So in those water levels, you're trying to get a high jump. You're not guaranteed that high jump at all. So not turning it on is there's a case to be made for what Lat's doing. But this is a marathon. I'm just gonna go all out in every way whatsoever and throw safety to the wind.
Well, when I was practicing for this was my first time actually using turbo, and consistently my times were always faster with the turbo on. So as much as there is some inconsistency in the mechanics of it, it is consistently faster than not using turbo, which is a weird thing to say, but in my head makes sense. So
I mean, it's right. That first stage is so easy to gauge, and you just save like a free 9 seconds on stage 1 if you use turbo. It's that big a difference.
Yep. Wow. That my PB was about 10 seconds off of the PB with non-turbo, so that makes sense. So
it's just a better time. You instantly get a better time, and that's it. God, me talking speedrunning. What is this?
I know, right? Okay. Forest can be a real challenge depending on the patterns you get. Not sure where you all are at, but oh geez, we almost died.
I am gonna go lat into an eight trip race one time at some point, but
yeah, folks. So the last 4 trips of this game just increase the difficulty quite a bit, and then on top of that, there's a pro mode that makes it even more challenging. It almost makes it nearly impossible to play the game. I'm not sure how a human actually can get past that part, to be honest with you. The pro mode.
I think the answer is they don't.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense actually.
So those jumps I just got through there are like the scariest things with button turbo. So
I'm turning my turbo off with it. I don't know how you do that, Kat, with keeping it on there. Mine's off for it.
You've got to land on the left side of the platform so you get a small running bit to get up to the next one. Otherwise, you'll get a short hop.
Is there a story to this game? That's a good question. I don't. Pac-Man leaves his family to go deliver some. What's going on here, Kat?
So I've actually had people in my chat do research on this, and the answer is no officially. But as far as we can tell, Pac-Man runs to the right until he finds a fairy and runs to the left with his magic boots, and he goes home.
That's a full day's work for Pac-Man.
I don't know why they decided that being able to jump a lot is, his thing, but also like they the greater story of Pac-Man at that point and talked about like the witch ghost or whatever that Pac-Land 2 is all about. The new adventure.
I mean, this is supposedly based on the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, but I never watched that, so.
Yeah,
I don't think she's in the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, but.
Well, apparently there is, yes. So I have been told about this Pac-Man cartoon. I've never actually watched it myself. Oh my gosh. But Char first distinctly put, Pac-Man leaves, Pac-Man comes home. That's the basic story.
I don't actually know what stages I'm on because it's cut off, but I think we're all on 13. 13's hell. 13 is actually hell.
I'm on 13 right now, and I'm trying everything I can not to use the F word, folks. I promise.
I only just did 13 Deathless.
Oh, me too, though.
All right,
now we're in
I don't know why I got it on the race, but it happened.
You just got to take these things. The maze is, let's see, 50-50 on whether or not I jump up to the spot I don't need to jump up to at the end. So the second maze is really the one you got to look out for because you can kind of soft lock yourself in that one. But the first one's pretty free.
It took me a minute to actually figure out the second maze. I thought I had broken the game. I'm like, why is I'm missing a key?
Oh no! And now here's the real widowmaker of a stage: is what is this? 14, 13, 15?
15. The water.
15.
The stage is
I lost, I
absolutely
think,
hell.
on my PB, that's currently like 11, 18. I lost 12 seconds to this.
Ooh.
Yeah, that sounds about right. It is so mean, and the only stage that's worse is stage 31, honestly.
Ooh. Waterfall. Game over. Okay.
There we go. We only died once.
So you're going to see a game over screen, folks. This is what the game over screen, and I actually did this purposely so we could show the audience what the game over screen looks like. It looks like an arcade game over screen.
So gracious.
I just wanted to make sure everyone gets the full breadth of this game.
Well, friends, I will put out there we were very close to world record today.
Oh my gosh. Even with the death.
Not today. Well, if I hadn't had said death, we might have had it. But this is the final stage of the run that you're experiencing on my end. And world record is gone now. Alright, that's GG on my end.
I'm guessing you're the winner, but we'll wait for Dog to chime in.
That's also a PB for me.
Hey, congrats, Cat.
Hey, 11.25. Good.
I'm just
The game will
giving-
keep going. It'll only get meaner.
That's the thing. So, and the reason, that's one of the reasons I think people just only run the 4-trip version. Because this game actually did get ported to everywhere, it seems like. I think the game also is, it's on, I know it's on NES and it's on Amiga and a bunch of other places.
And while the others are finishing,
Atari
I'll
Lynx.
show you the worst.
Let's run
the
Atari
worst
Lynx
stage.
next year, please.
Yeah, that's going to be the next version, the Atari Lynx version. Oh,
I will
okay.
show you all the worst stage in the game.
That is GG. If I can actually get the timer to stop. There we go. Okay. Whew. Well, what else do you say about... Oh, yeah, he takes a nap. That's the other thing. After all that work, he takes a nap. All of his work, just running from one side of the screen to the other. He takes it.
And there's the creepy stalker ghost also in the window. That's
eyes
terrifying.
at every cutscene. Yes, exactly. So maybe next time, maybe Retrothon 2022 will bust out the Atari Lynx version. Who knows?
I mean, maybe. That sounds kind of good.
Right, why not?
I'm almost done with stage 31 on Pro.
Cat and Dog, thanks for making history, by the way. Here we go. Pac-Land race in the books. How awesome is that?
We did it. We did it, y'all. I'm so proud of all of us. I'm so excited we got to do this.
Virtual pat on the back, okay?
Now we need to make
Agreed.
this on every marathon out there. Just
There we go.
all Pac-Land races.
You know, in all fairness, in all seriousness, folks, if you've never speedrun before, consider Pac-Land. It's a really easy game to pick up. It takes a bit to master it, but it's a really easy game to pick up. You can learn it pretty quickly and easily. So,
There isn't a lot of tech to this. I mean, it's mostly timing in the jump. Just that. You can get like a sub 15 in 2 hours of practice, maybe.
Yeah, you'll be able to pull it off pretty easily, honestly. Like it's such a fun game, and just you start to remember the stages, and they're all unique. None of them are randomly generated. There's not a ton of RNG other than the ghosts. Like you will have a good time. Pick this game up. Don't play the NES one.
And with that, stick around, folks. There are so many great runs coming up. Thank you so much, Retrothon and RGL, for having myself. I don't want to assume for Dog and Cat as well. Thank you all. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad we got a chance to do this.
Me too. This was a dream come true.
I'm glad we had the opportunity here.
Stay tuned, y'all. Y'all have a lovely, lovely, lovely Retrothon.
You too. Bye-bye. Adios. See you later.
Peace.